Welcome to Coursera Presents ET Studios discussion on crafting impactful learning experiences with new generation technologies in association with ET Education. This is going to be a very insightful panel, and a very warm welcome to our panelists, Pankaj Khandewale, Vice President and Head Training, Future Generali India Life Insurance, and Arushi Agarwal, Head of Coursera for Business India. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Pleasure meeting you.
Now, as new generation technologies like AI, VR, AR, and immersive simulations transform how we learn, organizations have the opportunity to build more engaging, personalized, and impactful learning experiences. Today's discussion will spotlight practical use cases, integration strategies, and tangible benefits of these tools. Let's unpack it with our panelists today. My first question, I'll take it across to Pankaj. How are new generation technologies like AI, VR, and AR transforming traditional learning methodologies? And what do you think are the most significant benefits you're observing today?
Thank you, Shilpa. I think it is a very, very important question. And I personally feel that people who are in L&D and training, they are the torch bearers of an organization whenever a change happens. Because from them, the organization starts cascading the learning to the other members or the teams of the organization. So, particularly when we are talking of these immersive technologies like AR, VR, and in fact, mixed reality, also MR, these technologies are extremely important. I belong to an industry which sells intangible products, so we are anyway into the virtual world, because we promise something to the customer and then at the moment of truth we settle the claim. So I'm in insurance. So while the traditional methods, for example, typically the classroom sessions that we have in training, are also essential. People do look forward to that. But as we are now discussing, the capabilities of the digital world are so very handy and so influential in the learning process, that unless we use these technologies, the learning is not going to be complete. And on one hand, we see that even the customers are using these technologies. They are also adapt to the new technologies. So therefore, the organization and the teams in the organization also have to be really adapt to the technologies. I can give you some examples how it is beneficial to over the traditional methods. For example, if I am conducting a training program on marine insurance, how many of us have actually gone to the port and seen the cargo loading and unloading? And what can go wrong with the cargo? Very few people are there in the industry who have actually witnessed such claims where the cargo is, the ship capsizes and the cargo is lost. But with virtual reality, we can actually create those scenes, and the learners can actually figure out how a claim can actually happen and how do we respond to it as the insurers or the risk bearers. So creating that kind of a scenario, visualizing it, is actually required for people who can then understand the concepts very clearly. And the first hand experience of sight and sound and even touch can be created through AR, VR technologies. I feel that when people are trained with this kind of mixed reality or augmented reality, they are closer to the reality. They understand the risks very well. They understand the actual situation in which the customer can be. In our case, when the risk operates, we say how they are going to respond to it, and then how are we supposed to be prepared to deliberate on it and fulfill our promises.
Well, absolutely. The new emerging technologies give you a very immersive experience, and I think those sort of simulations are invaluable. Staying on new gen technologies, I'll take it across to Arushi. In terms of personalized learning, how can technologies such as AI-driven platforms be utilized to tailor learning experiences to individual employee needs and preferences?
So, thanks, Shilpa. I think it's a very relevant question. And Pankaj, I think great example that you shared about how working in an area which is not touch and feel, but still being able to provide learning where through simulation all this can happen. So we've taken a similar journey at Coursera where we've said, in order for technology to be harnessed, how can we make learning personalized for the learner? That's really the best outcome that we can have. And for this, we've done this through three methodologies. The first is we've said having access to high quality learning is already something that differentiates our platform. But at the same time, we've added what we call as Coursera Coach, where a learner can actually dialogue with this coach, which is an intelligent AI, and ask for summarization, ask for examples, ask for what to learn next. I think the second is context. So context becomes quite important because an organization's learning is based on what they are doing day in and day out. So for a learner to learn that, but for it to be easy for the organization to actually create content with this context. So course builder is something that allows organizations to create uh, content in 10 minutes using the power of what is already there on our platform as well as their own context. So, we heard from Pankaj about the example of marine insurance. Here, how to look at certain things will be very specific to the organization. So that can be fed into a safe environment for learners to learn what is true to their job versus learning what may be outside. And the third thing then becomes around languages. So a lot of people, and the business language will continue to be English, but a lot of people interact with their customers in regional languages. Even the field insurance agents might be comfortable in regional languages. So what we've done is, using machine translations, our top courses are actually fully translated, including the UI UX from a subtitles perspective, into Hindi and many other regional languages. So I think what technology does is makes learning accessible, makes learning much more active, and makes learning contextual. And we think this is something that every single organization can really benefit from. And that's something that we have worked a lot on over the last few months.
That's fantastic indeed. Some very useful cases there. And I'm sure, this is going to transform the way everyone's going to. So I'll take that across to Arushi as well. Staying on new gen technology, now AI has become absolutely essential when it comes to personalized learning pathways. So, in terms of personalized learning, how are you seeing the utilization of AI driven platforms to tailor learning experiences for individual employee needs and preferences?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for the question, Shilpa. And, Pankaj, thank you for bringing to light how important technology really is in all walks of industries. So, it's a very exciting time for us because Coursera was founded by two AI professors from Stanford. So AI has really been in our blood. And, a lot of people consider Andrew Ng to be the father of AI. And we have really been ahead of the curve on how can we further leverage technology to be able to support learner personalization. That has really been our focus area over the last few months. And for this, we have done three things. The first thing we've said is that a platform provides high quality, accessible learning to individuals. This can be augmented through AI, and we've done this through a Coursera coach where, let's say, a person comes back after a break, they're able to revise what they have learned, they're able to get a summary, they're able to get real life examples, and they're able to dialogue with this personal assistant as a thought partner. So it is not passive learning, but it is active learning that a learner is engaged in. That's the first thing. The second is, we have always considered that context that an organization has is very important along with the learning content which our platform provides. So for example, the example that Pankaj shared on marine insurance, that will be something specific which the insurance industry and more so the company will have. So how does a learner learn about that in association with other parts and topics which are already available on Coursera? And we're doing this through a tool that we call Course Builder, where hours and hours of work of content curation and admin work is reduced by just using AI to produce a full-fledged course with assessments within 10 minutes. So, the third thing that becomes important is for people to learn in the language that is something that they feel comfortable in. While English continues to be the business language, but a lot of people meet with their customers in regional languages. So, very proudly, we have Hindi and many other regional languages in which many of our courses are translated through machine translations. So not just the subtitles, but also the UI, UX, and the questions are actually now available in Marathi, Bengali, Tamil, Telugu, and so many others. So, we found that technology and AI can really unlock the learning power at an individual level.
The localization and the hyper personalization that's offered by AI is irreplaceable now. And there's no doubt that traditional courses are out. It's all about micro learning, real time learning. So organizations definitely do want to embrace it. So I'll take this across to Pankaj, but I'm sure there are some challenges to adopting and integrating advanced technologies into L&D programs. How can organizations effectively address these challenges?
Yeah, I think the question is a bit larger. It is across the organization because I have seen in typically in insurance industry, there is a legacy problem. You have your IT systems which are quite old in many of the industries, and if you have to have these new technologies, you really have to transform the complete IT itself. So that is the first challenge. Second challenge comes down to using that technology in L&D. So first of all, the L&D professionals have to be quite hands-on with the technology, the use of the technology. It has to be easy. It has to be convenient to them. It has to be like on the go, because many of these L&D professionals, they travel and conduct training programs. So they are not at one place. So it should be into your mobile phone. It should be convenient to you. Or if you are, for example, if you are using VR, so carrying those gadgets, the headsets and all, can become cumbersome sometimes. So there could be a challenge on that also. And third thing is that integrating these technologies with the existing framework that you have. So these are the three or four challenges I see. But then, importantly, I'm sure many of the organizations, in fact, in retail and flight simulation, we always see that they are quick to adopt to it. Even automobiles and manufacturing, they are using these technologies for the learning part of it. Um, Here in BFSI, it is still something that we are looking forward to. AI is quite understood and being used, but AR VR is not that much adopted into the system. So it is going to take a little more time.
Absolutely. I think each sector comes with its own challenges, and the BFSI sector, especially, has so many compliance and navigatory regulatory challenges to weave through. So I'm sure there will be an AI adoption and integration in due time. Uh, I'll go across to Arushi now. Coursera is known for its innovative approach to online learning. How are you harnessing new gen tech to make sure that there's more immersive and engaging learning experiences on your platform?
Absolutely. And I think Pankaj shared it really well that every industry requires a certain thing. So, for example, a lot of banks tell us that we don't want to be AI first, we want to be AI last, because it is very important to keep in step with what the regulator has really asked for. So I think the way we have harnessed technology on our platform is at the most simple level, providing access to learning which would not have been available in a physical setup. The fact that we have more than 200 top university partners, including, Michigan, Stanford, and including IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Bombay. This is the basic use of technology, where using technology, we're able to provide world-class learning, which would not have been possible in a physical setup. I think that's the first thing. The second thing is some of the tools which I already spoke about, which is the platform capabilities. And the third, I would say, is the flexibility of how a platform can be used for the particular company or the customer. Because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that it really talks to the environment that they have. So what we do is, even though we are powered by Gen AI, anything which the organization is putting as context on the Coursera platform, the LLM is not learning on the basis of that, because that is proprietary information for the particular organization. So I think really knowing what is the environment, how technology can be an enabler, but also come in the remit of what is allowed and what is possible. I think that is what, gives us that advantage of being able to provide learning at scale.
All right, thank you for sharing that, Arushi. And I think, no matter where we are in our adoption journey. Technology is here to stay. There's been a digital transformation and now soon an AI transformation as well. With that, we're wrapping up this discussion, but we want to leave our viewers with a futuristic note. So, a closing question would be, how do you envision the next decade of learning and development evolving with advancements in technology? And what new possibilities do you foresee for crafting even more impactful learning experiences? Pankaj, would you like to start off with that?
So I think not the next decade, but even in the next 5 years, we'll see these technologies being adopted by the L&D professionals, and the advantages will be passed on to the learners.
Absolutely. And now I'll go across to Arushi for her predictions for the near future.
Absolutely. So I think the only prediction that I can safely make is that change is going to be constant. We have understood and, we like to believe that there are two constants. One is change and the other is learning. So I think the only safe prediction to be made is that those two will continue. But I fully echo what Pankaj said, that we are going to continue on this journey of hyper personalization. And I would say we are going to continue on the journey of making sure outcomes are being more and more considered as the center of what we do. I believe 5 to 10 years ago, learning was just a benefit which organizations were looking to provide. Over the last 5 years, it became a little bit of a catalog push. Today, we are in a world where the skills currency is very important, and we only see the skills augmentation and the hyper personalization to continue from here for business outcomes to be the centerfold of wherever learning is going, right? So that is where we see this to be much more sophisticated, much more mature. And the example that Pankaj gave is a beautiful one of how organizational benefit of revenue generation by really looking at the community can come, with a benefit, and we really go in that direction. So that's what I would say is my prediction. And, maybe over the next 2 years, we don't even know what 10 years might hold.
Yeah.
I think that's very well articulated indeed. From being just a checkbox, now it's become mutually beneficial for the organization and the employee to make sure that reskilling and upskilling is constant. And thank you so much for that insightful discussion, Arushi and Pankaj. It was a great thought exchange. And as we wrap up, it's clear that emerging technologies are not just enhancing learning, they're redefining it. By embracing innovation, organizations can empower their people and stay ahead in a rapidly evolving landscape. Thank you for joining us in this forward looking conversation. Thank you so much. We're wrapping.
Thank you
And
so much.
now we at ET will exit this room so that Pankaj and you, Arushi, can have a discussion. Thank you so much.